Greetings and welcome to another Stranded Deep update video for version 0.12. Yes, another month, another update, although a little bit late this time around because apparently they took an Easter break. And if you're wondering why I'm staring at the sky, it is because, of course, Volumetric Clouds, I mean, they're cool, right? They are cool. They're actually very pretty. I'm not sure whether this is something they've implemented themselves or this is an off-the-asset store type of thing. Oh yeah, and birds as well. Forget ye not, there are birds. Actually, the birds, I would argue, are more significant, are more interesting than the clouds, although you can't really do anything with them at the moment. They just fly about the place, land on rocks occasionally and things. But the devs have said that in the future you will be able to hunt them and presumably cook them and eat them. But when that happens, they will have to turn yellow. Oh yeah, you can eat anything that's yellow.
Oh yeah, you can milk anything with nipples.
I have nipples, Greg. Could you milk me?
So, this whole color association thing, let's just deal with it right now, because I think I've probably said this all before, but I'm going to say it again because Beam Team continue to careen down this path. In fact, they're adding more, which we will get to, more that actually makes a lot more sense than the whole food thing. But there are many things in this game that are yellow that you cannot eat, and there are many foodstuffs and other things that you may want to add to this game that don't make sense if you make them yellow. More importantly, by identifying the foods that you can actually eat successfully and not cause yourself harm, you've effectively wiped away a whole load of potential gameplay that people could enjoy and experience, learning for themselves what is actually poisonous, what they can eat, what's safe to eat, or what needs to be prepared in certain ways. But oh no, apparently it's okay to just wipe all that away and say, if it's yellow, you can eat it. Which isn't even true. It doesn't even work that way. So the whole food is yellow thing needs to go. I'm going to put it out there right now. I'm saying categorically, if all food remains yellow in Stranded Deep, I'm done. I am done. An overreaction possibly. But there you have it. In keeping with the focus on visual elements in this update, they have also done quite a lot of work on the various ground textures in the game. As you can see, islands are much greener now. They're much lusher looking. I think this is part of an ongoing attempt by the devs to inject a little bit more, I guess, greenery and sort of like realism into the textures and things to make the islands look a little bit more inhabitable, less like just like islands of sand in the middle of the sea, and more like actual habitats that you could survive on, which I personally am in favour of, although the trouble is it's quite a substantial change from the way that things were, and so there inevitably is going to be people probably who preferred the old look of the islands, and there's a few issues with kind of like the tide mark texture and things, but you just have to be aware of that when creating islands. That greenery extends to the cliff pieces, which make up the back of Cave Island here. You can see they've got lots of grass and other things growing out of them, which I have to say overall looks very nice, as do the clouds. The clouds really do look very nice. In all lighting conditions, although obviously they have removed weather at this point. Now, hopefully they'll be able to integrate those clouds in with the dynamic weather. We'll be able to get big, raging storm clouds and like light, wispy clouds and all the rest of it, all the different weather conditions that you would want to see, and have all that tied together and integrated properly. But of course that's not the way Beam Team do things. We have a nice half implementation, and we will have to see when the rest of it all gets brought back together and tied in and made to work properly. And then eventually maybe we'll even see some kind of effect that the weather has on you beyond simply visuals. We can but dream, eh? It's also worth mentioning that there are now bats in the game, which obviously share the kind of bird mechanics of the seagulls, except they appear at night, of course making them actually quite difficult to spot. Look, there they are. Very cool, very nice to have them. I don't think they're actually nesting in the cave in Cave Island, because of course that would be asking rather a lot. But they do fly around, they do make the nights a little bit more atmospheric, a little bit more interesting. The nights, of course, are very beautiful. I mean, there's no getting around it. It is a very beautiful game, and this update has made it a lot more beautiful. But unfortunately, it really hasn't done anything to add to the rest of the mechanics. In fact, the only real gameplay mechanic that they have added is a sort of a slight rework of the way climbing works. As before, you can climb these palm trees, which of course are, interestingly, are not orange. even though apparently everything that you can climb is now going to be identifiable by the fact that it is orange. But you can also sort of jump backwards off of things that you climb. Look, there we go, as you can see. Jumping backwards off of them, which I guess opens up certain kind of platformer-esque gameplay, especially in handcrafted maps, maybe that allow you to kind of, get into obscure places and things. It also, of course, means they've made it easier to get onto some of the wrecks. As you can see here, you can see the orange bar as identified as something that you can grab and climb. I honestly don't think this is necessary. I don't think gamers are that stupid that they need things color-coded to make them realize that they can do stuff with them. I think there's other subtler ways of doing it, and you just create this very odd graphical style and weird gameplay kind of like oddities. Like, you've got this rusted old wreck here, but these bright orange, like freshly painted bars that I can grab and climb up. Yes, the gameplay mechanic is great. Being able to have things that I can grab and climb onto, and being able to tie that in, like I said, with platforming like bits that allow me to have hard to reach areas of custom islands that have you like climbing up the side of a palm tree and then jumping across and grabbing hold of a ladder and climbing that, and then maybe walking along a gangplank and stuff. But they don't need to be orange. They just don't need to be orange. I don't know how else I can, I don't know why they are. It's like the devs read an article on game design using color to prompt gameplay and thought, yes, let's do that. But you're kind of solving a problem that doesn't exist in this game. There are situations where using some subtle color coding can be a good way to give visual clues to the player. In things like, platforming games where you're doing a lot of running and jumping and grabbing onto things and you have to make snap decisions. What can I grab onto? What can I not grab onto? That's where color coding can help to improve game flow and stuff. But in a survival game, it's just not necessary. You're just not making those kind of snap decisions. And actually, you want to be exploring the environment. You want to be finding out what you can eat and what you can't eat, what you can climb and what you can't climb. These are just things that will enhance people's gameplay. I don't think anybody asked. I don't think anybody even dreamed of asking for color coding. I don't think anybody got confused about, what they could eat and what they couldn't eat. And if they did, I don't think they're any less confused now. Anyway, that's, honestly, the color coding thing, bad idea. Please, please, please just remove it and, get focused on the gameplay, because the gameplay is what is letting Stranded Deep down at the moment. The integration of the survival mechanics, the weather system, the raft building system, the habitat or the shelter building system, these are the things that need to be brought together and made into a compelling gameplay experience. There needs to be a reason why we need to build shelters. There needs to be a reason why we need to build rafts, and why different rafts provide different capabilities to us. It's no good having an elaborate raft building system that lets us build anything from tiny little rafts all the way up to massive, great big things if there is no reason to want anything other than the tiny little raft. Likewise, the habitation system. We don't need shelter, let alone a 5-story, beach mansion. So, please, Beam Team, visuals are fine. I know the visuals are beautiful in this game. They already were. They're better now. But frankly, that is little polishing details that should be going on at the end when you've already got the rest of the mechanics in place. Right now, it just feels to me like a distraction and is not the sort of thing that I want to see happening in a game that actually, I think is really promising. I just think at the moment, that promise is not being realized. And I'm starting to question whether there is the talent and the organizational capability and the design vision from Beam Team to actually make this a finished game, or whether it's just going to be a game that's perpetually in early access, having little random things added here and there, not according to any kind of plan, just whatever the whims of the devs are at that particular point in time. Or what maybe they think, a little bit of extra visual flair will sell a few more copies of early access, and then eventually it'll just peter out because it'll stop selling. Inevitably, it'll stop selling, and when it stops selling, the devs are going to stop developing. That is the curse of early access, right? If you have to finish the game before people stop buying it, or it won't get finished, or it'll get finished in the most dodgy, let's just button it up as much as we can and call it done. And that's not a good way to go. That's not a good way to run your business. It's not a good way to, reward people who back the game early. So please, Beam Team, please, Sort it out. No more half-implementing systems. We need the next update. In fact, we need all of the next updates to come back to and finish off the existing half-implemented systems. We need the shelter system to actually have a purpose. We need the weather system back and for it to cause exposure. We need the rest of the survival systems in place. I mean, it was like a year ago that you added temperature and it still doesn't do anything other than when you dive to the bottom of the sea. Seriously, Beam Team, like, there needs to be some hardcore project management done to get this thing back on track and to inspire a little bit of confidence that it is actually going to be finished and isn't just going to run out of steam. Because at the moment, that's kind of where I see it going. And, you know, I don't want to be negative about games that I cover on the channel. That's not why I created a YouTube channel. I created this YouTube channel to do videos on games that I love, on games that I think are really promising, on games that I enjoy, and games that I think other people might enjoy and should potentially, like, you know, join in with, whether it be an early access game or a full release or whatever else. And at the moment, Stranded Deep is very much in danger territory for me. So I said last time I might not do another update video. I'm saying the same thing again this time. I am yet to be convinced. Beam Team, it is over to you. So, until next time, if indeed there be a next time, thanks a lot for watching, everybody. I have been Weird Wizard, and I will hopefully see you later. Yeah, brute force style, but at the same time, we are kind of on a life and death quest. Oh no, look! It's a dog! Or possibly a pig. Or possibly a pig dog. Fortunately, he doesn't seem to be able to get up here. Can we, oh, we're gonna have to use some, like, teamwork here. Ready for this? Hup! And hup! And then hup! And hup! Oh, yeah. Oh, no! Quick! Quick! The two of us together! Let's go! Let's